Let's go Browns! The Cleveland Browns may be preparing to make one of the boldest moves in franchise history. Let's get into the details, but first make sure to hit that like button. Now, on to the news. There's been some serious buzz surrounding the team possibly trading up to the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft to select quarterback Cam Ward. But before we dive into what that means and how much it would cost, let's get one thing straight. This isn't just another unfounded rumor. The Browns held a private workout with Ward, showing significant interest in the Miami quarterback. And with the Tennessee Titans currently holding the number 1 overall pick, the door is wide open for a potential blockbuster deal. So what's really going on here? The Titans haven't come out and definitively said they're taking Ward at number 1. If they were absolutely serious about drafting him, they probably would have made that clear to discourage teams like the Browns from even trying to move up. Instead, the Titans appear to be playing a waiting game, seeing if another franchise is willing to pay a premium to jump ahead of the competition. That's where Cleveland enters the conversation. Let's talk about Ward as a prospect. At 6 feet 2 inches and 219 pounds, he checks the boxes physically. He's not undersized like Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield, so there's no concern about him seeing over the offensive line. He's also not an older prospect. He'll turn 23 in May, so there's plenty of time for him to develop. His stats in his lone season at Miami? Impressive. Over 4,300 passing yards, 43 total touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. But here's the thing, Cam Ward isn't a slam dunk, can't-miss quarterback prospect like we've seen in past years with Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, or Joe Burrow. He's got a gunslinger mentality, which is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, that aggressive playing style can lead to huge plays and game-changing moments. On the other, it can result in costly turnovers and frustration. In college, you can get away with those risky throws. In the NFL, defensive backs will punish you for it. And that's where coaching becomes crucial. If the Browns were to draft Ward, Kevin Stefanski would need to find the right balance, allowing him to play with his natural instincts while also reining in the hero ball tendencies that could be problematic at the next level. Now, let's talk about the logistics. Moving up from the number 2 pick to number 1 isn't something that happens often. In fact, in modern draft history, we haven't seen a trade like this. The closest comparison might be when the Falcons moved from number 3 to number 1 back in 1975. If the Browns want to secure Ward, they'd likely have to give up their first pick in the second round, along with additional draft capital. The price wouldn't be as steep as what the Panthers gave up last year to land Bryce Young when they moved from number 9 to number 1, but it wouldn't be cheap either. And here's the million-dollar question, is Cam Ward worth it? If the Browns believe he's their franchise quarterback for the next decade, then the answer is simple, you do whatever it takes to get him. But if there's even the slightest doubt, it becomes a much riskier proposition. Historically, trading up for a quarterback has been a hit-or-miss strategy. For every Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford, there's a Mitchell Trubisky or Sam Darnold. The Browns front office isn't the only one dropping hints about their draft plans. The team's social media account recently posted an image with the caption, "Who are we going to take?" Internet detectives quickly realized that the silhouette in the image was from the 2018 draft, the year Cleveland selected Denzel Ward. And what's the name of the quarterback we're talking about? So, Browns fans, it's time to weigh in. Would you trade up to number 1 to draft Cam Ward? Is he the missing piece to take Cleveland to the next level, or is the price too steep for a player who isn't a surefire generational talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If the Browns pull the trigger on a trade for the number 1 overall pick, the implications go far beyond just acquiring Cam Ward. This move would send shockwaves through the entire NFL, signaling that Cleveland is all in on a new era at quarterback. But what does that mean for the rest of the roster? And perhaps more importantly, what does it mean for Deshaun Watson? Watson is still under contract with the Browns, and despite his struggles with injuries and inconsistent play, the team has publicly supported him. But actions speak louder than words. If Cleveland aggressively pursues Ward, that tells us everything we need to know about their confidence in Watson's future. And while trading Watson might seem impossible given his massive contract, nothing is truly off the table in the NFL. The Browns could decide to keep him as a bridge quarterback for one more season while Ward develops, or they could explore trade options, even if it means eating a chunk of his salary. Let's also talk about what this means for the rest of the roster. A trade up to number 1 would likely cost Cleveland valuable draft capital, possibly including future first-round picks. That means the Browns would have to be even more strategic in how they build their team moving forward. Without as many premium draft selections, they'd have to rely on free agency and smart mid-round picks to fill roster holes. One of the biggest concerns for a young quarterback is protection, and the Browns have some question marks on the offensive line. Jedrick Wills Jr. has been inconsistent at left tackle, and while the interior of the line is solid, injuries have been an issue. If Cleveland wants Ward to succeed, they'll need to invest in keeping him upright. That could mean using later draft picks on offensive linemen or targeting veteran free agents who can provide immediate stability. Then there's the wide receiver situation. Amari Cooper is still WR1, but he's in the final year of his contract, and there have been whispers that Cleveland might be open to moving him. If Cooper isn't in the long-term plans, that puts even more pressure on Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore to step up. And let's be honest, neither player has proven they can be a true WR1 at this level. If Ward is the pick, the Browns might need to look at adding another playmaker either via trade or by selecting a receiver in the second round. And what about the rest of the AFC North? If the Browns make this move, they're putting themselves in direct competition with the likes of Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson for the next decade. Pittsburgh is also in the market for a quarterback, meaning the division could be set for a new wave of rivalries. If Ward develops into the player Cleveland believes he can be, we could be looking at a future where the Browns are no longer chasing their divisional opponents, but leading the pack. There's also the possibility that this entire scenario is a smokescreen. The Browns front office is known for playing things close to the vest, and this could be a way to gauge the market or put pressure on other teams. Maybe they're trying to push another quarterback-needy franchise, like the Commanders or Patriots, into making a move that benefits Cleveland. Or maybe they genuinely believe Ward is the best quarterback in this draft and are willing to do whatever it takes to get him. One thing is for sure, the next few weeks are going to be crucial. If the Browns are serious about this trade, we could see movement sooner rather than later. The closer we get to draft night, the more expensive a trade becomes. If Andrew Berry is ready to make his move, he won't wait until the last minute. So now, the question is simple. Should the Browns go all in for Cam Ward? Is he the future of this franchise, or would they be better off sticking with Deshaun Watson and building around him? And if a trade does happen, what would you be willing to give up to make it work? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you love in-depth Browns analysis like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss what happens next. Go Browns!